rayons de soleil levé chaque jour. C'est un compte dans le paradis. Vous en belle fleur dans mon blayi. Donc tout le monde qui vive là-dedans. Il a une chance pour le décorer. À pied coco et vol en mer. Belle fleur poussée dans chaque saison. Qui empêche de fatiguer. Haïti chérie. En avant tout me sorti la mamelle ou nourrine. Chérie. Pour mon Jean-Pierre Mando aussi à cap chanter. Chérie. La moi play dans Cambou.
Step, please.
Rolling.
Camera A speeds.
Camera B speed. Sound speed.
This is interview with
Cybille St-Aude.
Marie Ashley Darbouze.
RB Alverna.
Paul Beaubrun.
Watson Lemaire.
Daphne Moise.
Dr. Magdala Sherry.
Rich Demond.
Marcia Rosemary.
Jenny Alverna.
Alain Lemaire, and I'm from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. When the earthquake hit in Haiti, I was actually on the phone with my mom in Haiti. And we were talking and then the phone just cut off. So I tried to call back multiple times and I'm like, okay, you know what? When I get back home, I'll call her back since I know that service is always fluky back home. And then one of my friends called me, hey, Al, have you watched the news?
A major earthquake shook the Caribbean nation of Haiti late today. It hit just 14 miles from the capital city, Port-au-Prince.
My immediate feeling when I heard that the earthquake hit in Haiti was a complete shock because the island is just so small. All I could think about is what is left.
When the earthquake took place, I was in New York, but my family, my mom and dad were in Port-au-Prince.
We've never seen a quake quite to this extent.
Tried to call my parents, couldn't get a hold of them. Called my brother, couldn't get a hold of him. And no calls were going through because at that time, all the lines were pretty much messed up.
All the landline application is dead. No telephone, no cable TV, no live broadcasting of what happened since the earthquake.
The only thing I heard, which means our country was broken. Worst thing is that I was not able to hear from my family, so I thought everybody was dead.
I was watching it on TV and it did not feel real. Like, I can't believe that's the same place that I was just in 2 months ago.
I received a phone call from my family asking me if I'd seen the news.
I was getting the news from family, calling my parent, reading what I saw online.
I got a text message, and the text message was earthquake in Haiti, and I turned on the CNN and I saw what was going on.
The U.S. Geological Survey reported a magnitude of 7.0, the largest ever recorded in that region.
At the time, I had my grandmother and a good amount of my father's family living in Haiti.
We had lost quite a few family members. A cousin of mine, who was a set of a triplet, the house collapsed on her. I remember having a conversation with my dad, and he couldn't really conceptualize what was going on. And he kept telling me he'll call me back, call me back.
But as the hours kept going on and the death toll just kept going up, and the footage that you would see from the news, you could definitely just see that it was something cataclysmic almost in somewhat of a biblical sense. In my lifetime, I've never seen anything that like extraordinary in terms of destruction.
When you hear how many people passed away, you just could not believe it.
So it was something that really hit hard, but didn't really sink in until the days that followed, I would say.
Your family's there. What you known as a child, everything was there, just crumbling. And once they're gone, the odds of them being rebuilt may never happen.
We're now on the 10th year anniversary, and the death is basically refreshing. My name is RB Alverna, and I am the Executive Director of the Academy 365 Incorporated. I currently reside in East Orange, New Jersey. My parents are from Cabaret and La Platte. My immediate reaction was to call my mom and dad. We have a lot of family who lives there. We had lost quite a few family members, but the one that hit the hardest was a cousin of mine who was a set of a triplet, and the house collapsed on her. They are definitely in jeopardy with the TPS status, and actually some of them don't even have a status. They deflected here, so they're in the court proceedings. Every time they go to court, there's this fear of them not being able to come back.
There is unease tonight in many Haitian neighborhoods. The Trump administration says it's canceling a humanitarian program that's allowed thousands of Haitians to live in the U.S.
Earlier this month, the Associated Press obtained internal emails from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services inquiring specifically into crimes committed by the Haitian diaspora.
My uncle currently is on TPS status, and every time he has to go to court, he's in despair because he does not know what's going to happen between him and his family.
Vladimir Duthier reports they could be deported if they don't leave by July of 2019.
The day after the earthquake, many people, many friends and countries around the world got together to pledge and commit support to Haiti. Unfortunately, many of those pledges never came to fruition.
The Haitian people deserve better, and that's what I intend to give them.
In 2010, the first thing I did was I organized the charity basketball game called Score for Haiti, and we raised well over $10,000, and that money was donated to aid the efforts in Haiti to make sure that we did our part. It's important that they understand their civic responsibility and where they come from as well. Regardless of what was going on or what could possibly take place around them, I wanted to make sure that they were aware and had the knowledge and the resources to be able to help.
Now, you said that we are different culturally, but we have more in common than we think. We all have the same fears and anxieties. We love and care the same way. We all want to connect. It's in our DNA. The moment you take down your walls, a beautiful world will open up for you. More smiles, caring, and kindness will come your way. Be happy, my friends. Open your mind and world up to other people, other cultures. I guarantee your life will change for the better forever.
Acompanhe vin fon let pour moi. Ou bay la caille con ti paquet. Tant pris souffle di con me altima. Papi mal, grâce qu'on fait en ibal. Bam tiye en bas un baraton. Pas crive pas encore travail. Changer bon Dieu ay compéléon. Voyez tiger sous ti moun mayo moins quitté.
In Miami, at one point in the 90s, there was a Bitter Haitian Day. So that was the day basically they used to, if you're Haitian or Haitian descent, you already had an accent in Miami, if they catch you at school, they'll beat you down. I can remember vividly when I first moved permanently to Miami and I was going to culinary school, and the minute I said that I was Haitian, everybody was looking at me like I had two heads.
My parents didn't even want me to say that that's where I was from. They were mistreated a lot when they first came to the United States.
Let's take Haiti, the first black republic in the world, the first country in the Western Hemisphere to abolish slavery, a country consistently targeted by violent, anti-democratic, racist U.S. policy ever since.
We are here to tell President Trump Haiti is not what he called it. Haiti is a proud nation. Haiti is the first black republic who broke the chain of slavery. Haiti is the nation who contributed most to the U.S.
My father is very, very big on Haiti's history and culture, and he sat us down and told us so much, and his reasoning for that is he didn't want us to be ignorant of the facts.
Haiti is the first black republic.
And whether you know the history or not, when you Haitian, you wear that.
You can say it's until now where people are now like, oh, you know, Zoe life. But back in the days, it wasn't really that hot to be Haitian.
Sorti la ville Jacmel, la vallée moins brûlée. On arrive en Cap pour Bénin, Panama moins tombé. Moins sorti la ville Jacmel, la vallée moins brûlée. On arrive en Cap pour Bénin.
So, in remembrance of the 10-year anniversary of January 12th, prepared 3 things today. There's poulet au noir, which is pretty much chicken and cashews, and I did griot, and also lame véritable frit, which is breadfruit, fried breadfruit. They remind me of every Friday afternoon. We would gather at my friend's house, and we'd go eat the street food, fritai.
If you're talking in Creole, if you say let's go get some fritai, that means you're gonna go to a street stand and just get some fried pork plantains, maybe some fried dumplings, fried fish, a little bit of rice. So basically that's what we are. We like the fritai stand.
So we buy a whole bunch of fritai and we eat until we pass out.
My name is Cybille St-Aude. I'm a chef. I'm from Hempstead, Long Island, and my family's from Peggyville. So growing up Haitian American on Long Island is a really interesting place to be because you're not Haitian enough and you're not American enough, you know? So you're kind of straddling the middle. So for us, our community was family parties. So immediately the things that I think of cake, pineapple upside down cake. I think of aka. I think of those things that are just staples at family parties that are appetizers or desserts, but kind of just the beginning and the end of the affair, right? The things you really remember. You don't remember the middle of it. And yeah, you remember the food, but you just remember first getting there and having to say hi and kiss all your family members and then having to leave and do the same thing. So aka and cake kind of remind me of that. So that's why I figured it would be a good dish to serve.
One of the food that I prepared today that really, does a lot to my soul is the soup jumeau. We call it freedom soup. The reason why is because it was a forbidden food. The slave could not eat it because it was only by the French. It was like how you call it, the delicacy. After we won the battle with the French, so that was the first thing that we prepared to share with everybody else. So this is why, this soup especially speaks a lot for me, and it does a lot to my soul because every time I eat it, it reminds me of everything that a slave and then our ancestors did to put us where we are today.
Our cuisine is really rooted in West African, really like around Angola.
Right.
So if you see a lot of West African foods, they still have plantains, they still have like a lot of like very similar items.
Similar flavor profiles.
Very similar.
So we use a lot of those techniques and we use a lot of those dishes that if a French or somebody from Africa came, they would be able to say, oh, we do something similar like that.
And when you look at Creole food, it's almost like directly related to Haitian cuisine. Like you have all the same elements there.
Everywhere you go in Haiti, you'll find something that's predominant in that area. Are they close to the sea? Are they close to the mountains? And that food reflects the region.
My name is Paul Beaubrun. I'm from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, born and raised. I'm a man of culture, music, food.
Please welcome Paul Beaubrun.
I'm a big believer that art, music, any form of art can change someone.
My name is Marcia Rosemy. My family is from Les Anglais and Petit Guave. I am an artist and a fashion designer. What drew me to join She Builds was I knew Shaina, who's the founder of She Builds. She has a beautiful vision for Haiti, and she grew up in Haiti, and she pushes the culture wherever she goes in a very organic sense of excellence.
I think it's important for people to understand that Haiti is not a monolith. Black culture, period, is not just one uniform thing. Haiti in particular is not one uniform thing. We all have different experiences. We all have different memories. We all have different foods that we like, depending on the region you come from.
I think that as long as we stick together and really show people who we truly are, then I think that we can slowly change the narrative.
We have a lot of resources, we have a lot of things going on, and we have poor politicians and poor mindset, but our country is not poor.
Being a visual artist, what I do with my art, I try to remind people, just bringing up a lot of facts about the history of Haiti, I would say.
From the art, from the food, we give it our all. We don't take it for granted.
We're a vibrant country, generous, strong, resilient, caring, giving, and that energy is what I push forward, it's what I encourage, and it's what I encourage other people to push people to embrace that spirit of being Haitian.
I have no shame. I speak the language, I make the food.
I'm that one person you'll see in the comments that's just screaming, you know, when they're trying to depict the island in a bad light.
I'm always proud. I still have a Haitian passport.
It's very, very important that as a chef or as someone with a certain level of status that we are continuously showing that there's more to Haiti, there's more to Haiti, there's more to Haiti.
If I want to speak to Haitian or to the world, I can speak through music.
I keep myself attached first in different ways, from educating myself and doing different practices that remind me of where my parents came from.
I want someone to ask me where I'm from so I can tell them I'm from Haiti.
Woo! Let's eat.